the other day, my Aunt Gina sent me her very first Snapchat. And so, to give some context, she's like my mom's age, so like 50s-ish, like around there. And her Snapchat, it was a video, and it was a really long video, and it was like her posing for the camera for like a minute, like for like a selfie, and then like 10 more minutes of her figuring out how to turn it off. That's so weird to me. Like, why do older people have such difficulty with technology? Like, I sent her a snap back and she doesn't know how to open it. But like, why are we able to understand it so much better than people that are older than us, you know? Like, I don't get it, because, like, am I gonna have this same kind of situation with my kids? Like, are they gonna have some kind of new technological device that I'm just gonna have no idea, like, what it is? And then, at the same time, I don't want to lose touch and, like, let technology go on without me. Like, I want to be part of everything that comes out and, like, everything new and stuff. But I don't get, why don't they, like for Snapchat, if she really didn't understand, like, she could look up a YouTube video or something, or, like, Google search something. But, like, I know that that's not, I don't know, I'm not explaining this right, but that's not also intuitively an older person's first, like, go-to thing. Like, they're not, like, oh, I don't understand this. What should I do? Oh, let me Google this. Like, that's not their first thought. And I feel like that's kind of younger generation's first thought. Which, there's good and bad things to both of that. Like, sure, if the grid falls down, a lot of us are going to be in trouble. Like, if the grid completely, everything blacks out, stuff doesn't work anymore, a lot of us are going to be in trouble, but we'll still survive. Like, humans always find a way. We'll get it. We'll go back to our libraries, you know, we'll get some books out. But that's just so weird to me. Like, I know it's new. I know that phones are new, and that all this stuff is, like, pretty relatively new, but I don't understand how they don't understand it. Like, you or I, if you're using YouTube, you probably feel the same way that I do, in that you can pick up something and pretty much understand it within, like, 20 minutes. Give it 20 minutes and you're good to go with whatever you have. My aunt, still, whenever I call her on her cell phone, which she just got, not even just, she's had this thing for, like, probably, like, 3 years, 2 or 3 years, she still doesn't know how to answer the phone call. And it says it right there. There's arrows. It's like answer call or decline call. Then it gives, like, little arrows for, like, which way you're supposed to, like, open. Like, the way our phones are, you have to, like, open a circle. She got the same phone as me, so I could teach her how to use it. But like, even if she got a different phone, I could teach her how to use it, really. But anyway, it says it right there. And I don't know, do older people just not kind of retain that information? And again, will that happen to me too? I don't want that to happen to me. I don't. That's also kind of why I wanted to pick, like, a career path where I'm always thinking and that I always have to problem solve, because I feel like that'll help that a bit. Like, but, like, help the aging process so that I don't lose, like, my memories, and that I don't, like, kind of deteriorate, you know? Like, my Uncle Mush, his name was Merwin, but everyone called him Merlin, so he said, just call me Mush, so everyone called him Mush, and he was my Uncle Mush. Well, he was actually technically he's my great Uncle Mush, and I'm his great niece. That's crazy. Anyway, he would always, like, do word searches and Sudoku and, like, all that kind of stuff, like, till, like, his very last day, basically. But he would still forget a lot of stuff. And I don't know, I kind of thought that would, doing all that stuff all the time would kind of help you to keep your brain sharp. But if that stuff doesn't work, then, like, what does? I wonder if during my time, when I get older, And when we have more technological advances, will we be able to find some type of cure for Alzheimer's? Because that would be really cool. Like, my great aunt and my great uncle, when they were, like, really old, my uncle lived until he was, like, 90, I think he was, like, 95 or something, somewhere around there. They would, whenever they got together, when they were really old, they would talk in circles, which was, like, cute from the outside, but it's also, like, really weird. And what I mean by talking in circles was, like, her name was Alice, she would be like, how's the weather today? And he'd be like, oh, it's really great. And she'd be like, oh, that's good to hear. And then he would be like, how's the weather today? You know, like, and they would kind of keep answering each other's questions, and they could, like, entertain each other with the same conversation topic for, like, hours, which is, like, my goodness. It was, like, it's kind of funny at the time, but also, like, damn, like, you know. I'm really excited. I was watching, like, a podcast where people were talking about VR and, like, virtual reality, and I love VR. I love all of the possibilities that go along with VR. But in this podcast, the people were talking about how, well, the main guy was talking about how he thinks that VR was kind of introduced at the wrong time for people, or that it was introduced in such a way that a lot of people don't even use it really, and that it may have kind of missed the mark, and that people won't use it all the time in the future. Because, and, like, when the concept of VR was first, like, when it first came out, everyone was like, this is the future. Well, I'm not going to generalize. Probably not everyone. But a lot of people were like, this is the future. And it really does seem like it. It's like you can feel like you're in a completely different place with just putting on some, like, goggles. Like, that is so crazy. But I feel like there was a lot of truth in what the guy on the podcast said. And that sucks because, I don't know, I love the possibility of having VR incorporated with our future. But I think there's going to be some version of VR in the future, just not how it is now. People are probably going to laugh at how we have it now. Just like we laugh at old phones and, like, old bulky phones, but that wasn't even really that long ago. I definitely think there'll be something, I saw, like, I don't know if this is a real thing or not yet, but I saw, like, a contact lens that had, some kind of, like, circuitry or something, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, on the contact lens itself. And I think that that's going to be definitely some kind of thing. Something that you can, like, wearable technology is probably going to become more popular. And I think that, like, something, like, as small as a contact lens that you could kind of pop into your eye, or in front of your eye, like the Google Glass, could potentially become a very popular thing. And I think, like, how, places, how, like, kind of like, let me think, how sci-fi movies and shows, if you've ever watched Altered Carbon, that is how I see the future going. And it's, like, basically, it's your normal reality, that's how you see stuff, with an overlay of a lot of, like, holographic images. And that's how I picture the future, whenever I picture the future. Definitely, like, advertisements in the sky, like, everywhere you look, there's, like, something to see, you know? The only thing is, like, once technology becomes our whole world, and it's getting there. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I'm on my phone a lot, as are a lot of other people. But once it really becomes our whole world, like, with more wearable technology and more, not even just wearable, like integrated with your body technology, which will definitely be a thing. My mom swears against that. Like, she's like, promise me you'll never put technology in your body. That's what she says to me all the time. I don't know what she's worried about. I don't know why if she's like a time traveler or something. Just that, like, her one mission was to come back in time and to tell me that. 'Cause that's how often she tells me that and makes me promise her. But as soon as all of that kind of stuff happens, the possibility of, like, cyber attacks will be so much more threatening, and we're definitely gonna have to, like, beef up our security, for sure. We're gonna have to get more people into coding. Okay, speaking of that, I know, I'm sorry, when I talk about stuff, I kind of go from, like topic to topic to topic, but speaking of getting people into coding, there's so many, like, kindergarten's crazy. Like, nowadays, kindergarten is so crazy, and I just saw this thing that was like, kids aren't, like, having fun in kindergarten anymore. Like, kindergarten's not just, it's not really a stepping stone anymore. It's not, like, kind of, okay, for me, I feel like kindergarten was kind of the thing that, like, really helped you to start getting into school and start being okay with school. Like, it's like, okay, you're going to this place, you're gonna be away from your mom for a while, but it's okay because they're gonna let you color and you're gonna make some friends. And, like, that was always like, yay! But now, I'm hearing, and I only heard this from one thing, I haven't done any research, I'll be honest, but I heard that it's, like, more, like, the kids have to work and they're already learning, like, the alphabet and being expected to, like, memorize it, like, super early, and, like, doing math, like, really early, and that's kind of crazy. Like, I know we're definitely, the way we're going right now, we're definitely increasing our intelligence as a whole. I can definitely see that over the years, humanity, like, the overall IQ of humanity has probably gone up a bit. And I feel like there's a lot of reasons for that. But one of them is definitely that the people before us have learned a lot of things, and we've retained that knowledge. Like, if we didn't have cures for early diseases, we still would have very little numbers of humanity, like, of people, of population-wise, I mean. And population is going to be definitely a big issue that we're going to have to deal with later, that we're already dealing with, but not necessarily, well, yeah, my country. I was going to say not necessarily my country, but New York City's packed. Like, a lot of places are just super, super packed in. And I don't know, I like the idea of living in my own place, which screams apartment, but I don't think I'd want to live in a place with, like, 300 other people, you know, like, the same building. I think I'm probably just going to be a suburban person, like, my whole life. But I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm getting so off track. What was I even talking about? I just saw Downsizing the other day, the movie, and that was a really super great movie. Really, really good. Really fantastic. And in Downsizing, so if you haven't heard the plot, it's basically, like, it's set kind of, like, in the near future, basically, because stuff isn't too advanced, but someone develops the technology to downsize people. And what that means is people will become, I think it was like 1/4, no, less than 1/4. People will become a lot smaller than they were. Like, the people in there were, like, this big, basically. But what that also meant was that for their, they could turn all of their money into a lot more money in, like, the smaller land, basically. Like, there was, like, a land for tiny people, basically. So you would downsize yourself, and you would, like, liquidate, like, all your stuff. You'd sell everything, sell your house, and move into this little tiny community. But that would mean that you were, like, a millionaire, basically, because of, like, the different economies. But what they also did, which was really interesting, and I've definitely got to read the book because of this, they really looked at every different perspective of that kind of scenario, that futuristic scenario, in that they looked at how the economy would be affected if people did downsize themselves and create a tinier community and economy. And basically, like, they were saying that it was wrecking the regular sized people. It was wrecking their economy because of the way that people were just taking, because, okay, I'm not explaining this right, but basically, like, $1 in regular people money was like $1,000 in tiny people money. So they were kind of just showing the different effects on that. And they didn't go that much into detail. They kind of mentioned it like a little bit here and there. And that's why I have to read the book, because I'm sure they talk about that in depth. I hope there is a book. I'm sure there's a book. There's always a book when it's that good. And maybe it won't even come in the form of contact lenses, like contact lenses. Sometimes I just trip over my words and they don't make sense. Maybe it'll come in the form of glasses, you know, some type of glasses. You know, circular glasses are very in lately, and I dig it. Like, you know, I would love to be a hipster. Like, that would be so nice. If I could pull it off, you know, I mean, maybe I could pull it off, but I'm a person that does not shy away from shopping at Hot Topic, you know, so I don't know if the hipster look would ever work for me, but, you know, I'd be down to try it, you know, of course, I'd be down. I've already got the ukulele, so, and I don't even know if they're called hipsters anymore. There's just, I'm only calling them that because there's no other, like, name, but I find hipsters so hot, so I can't even, like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, you know, like I dig it. I love it. I really do. I would like to have a podcast one day. I mean, this basically is my podcast. I just kind of talk to this camera. And in turn to you. I have 0 subscribers. So. And I don't even, like, I have 0 subscribers, right? But I don't know what to do to get subscribers. And I don't want to be that person that goes onto other videos and is like, check out my channel, I make videos, I just started. You know, like, because I hate that stuff. But that's, like, the only way I can see right now to promote my channel. But I don't want to do that. So then my other tactic is to make, like, really clickbaity titles. But then I don't want people to be disappointed when they come to my video. I want them to like it. And if I could, I would just, you don't know how many times I've changed the titles of my videos. It's been a lot. I've done it a lot. They used to just all be called vlogs. I just had it like, Vlog 1, look at my cat. Vlog 2, everyone poops. You know, it was like, really just basic stuff. It really just summed up the video. I don't even know if this is a vlog. I don't go anywhere. I just stay in my room. I'm just here. Is my kid gonna be like me too? I don't know. I'm definitely, I would say I'm like my mom, but I'm not exactly like her. Like, for a long time, I just wanted to, like, go and leave and see the world, because I don't know if everyone has had this kind of time in their life, but there was a time when I was just super mad at her all the time, and I didn't want to be around her at all. And I wanted to just, like, leave and, like, live my life. And she did that, too, when she left her house at 18. and she moved to California from New York. So she went clear across the other side of the country. But she never talks about her mom as if she hates her, you know. But my aunt does. My aunt, like, really hated her mom. But they both, like, adored their dad. My aunt left home, I think, when she was 16, maybe younger. And she lived in an apartment in New York, and she lied about her age so that she could, like, get work and stuff. That's crazy. I've never... Like, sure, I wanted to leave, but I was never, like, desperate enough to do that. And if I adopt a kid, which I think I might end up doing, I mean, if I end up with a girl, then we'll probably adopt, because that's, like, one of the only options. But if I end up with a guy, then I might have my own kid. But also, like, there's a lot of stuff that runs through my family that I don't think I'd want to give to my kid, you know? Like, there's a lot of depression and a lot of, like, heart disease on my dad's side and diabetes, and it's, I don't know, my gene pool isn't looking great, and maybe I should just adopt, because there's a lot of kids out there who, they just need homes, and I could give a home. And that's also why I'm not opposed, not to compare children to animals, but for the same reasons I'm not opposed to adopting, like, an older dog or a cat, because if I have the home, then why not? If they're bringing the cuddles, I'm bringing the home, you know, like, I don't know, I feel weird about giving out my YouTube channel to my friends, like, I don't know, if I ever want to talk about stuff, like, not about them, but I mean, if I ever want to talk about stuff that I wouldn't normally talk about with them on here, you know, like, I don't know, I feel weird about that. And I want to show them this video I made because, like, some of my friends are in it. It's just, the old Snapchat one. I don't know, I really like that one. I feel like all of a sudden, making a video changes as soon as I know someone in real life who's gonna watch it, you know? And I'm running out of space. That means I've talked too much. Goodbye.